The brave men and women who have served our country faithfully often need our help to successfully transition back into civilian life. Brave Radio is here to highlight veterans and the companies who are making a difference in our veteran community. And now, the host of Brave Radio, Eve Nasby.
Welcome to Brave Radio, where we're focused on engaging our veterans and making a difference in our business community. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here to highlight the best and brightest that San Diego and this nation have to offer. We have an amazing show today, and so let's get started. First up is our good friends from Easter Seals of Southern California. Welcome, ladies.
Thanks. Good morning, Eve. How are you?
I am well, thank you. We've got Cynthia, and we have Danica. Danica, welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you.
I am so excited. We're going to hear your story. We talked about this last week. We talked about the power of community and how everybody comes together and helps one veteran at a time, and it has made a difference in your life, Danica, and so we're thrilled to have you here. Please, I'm going to have Cynthia, you introduce Danica, and let's jump into her story.
Okay, well, I had an opportunity to meet Danica. She's actually a veteran advocate like myself, and reached out to me to get some VA compensation connections, and we connected her with Duncan Hunter's office. And she reached back out to us, needed some more assistance to get some housing connections as well as employment support, which we do very well at Easter Seals. Mm-hmm. She's an Air Force veteran, and she has such a beautiful story. I don't want to steal her thunder. I want her to share all these great things she has to say. So I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Danica.
All right, Danica, you're up. Easter Seals of Southern California You reached out to them, or Duncan Hunter's office first.
I did.
And he's coming on the show in a couple of weeks. So again, guys, the power of community is everyone's helping. So go ahead.
No, he's amazing. And thanks to Cynthia, I struggled for 3 years to actually get my VA compensation. So the power connection there, when Duncan office got involved, I literally, within 2 months, had my rating.
So how long were you in the Air Force?
I did 2 years and then transitioned out. My transition wasn't the best. Mm-hmm. And so this was about 7 years ago. So one of the things about my story is my transition really never stopped 7 years ago.
Wow.
Once I transitioned, I've found myself really in these up and down roads since. Mm-hmm. And even now, reconnecting to the resources that weren't available back 7 years ago has been really critical for me, and Easter Seals was a part of that.
So I think it's important for our listeners to understand that once you transition out of the military, mm-hmm. it doesn't stop. That transition isn't just like, okay, one day I'm in the military, the next day I'm not, and I have a job. Right. That's what we're all about. It doesn't happen like that. It's not as fairy tale-esque as that. So tell me, why has it gone on so long? What were some of the challenges you had?
Well, I think for everyone, and everyone's transition is different. So mine, I actually, being that I didn't have a good transition and I left with PTSD, it's been difficult for me. Mm-hmm. And so at that time, like I said, the resources weren't the same as they are now that mm-hmm. they're emerging. So really that was something that I kind of put on the back burner then. And it hasn't really been until now that I feel that I've had the power to really be where I've wanted to be.
And what made that mm-hmm. difference, Cynthia?
You know what? At Easter Seals, we do the customized one-on-one employment, mm-hmm. and it really depends on the veterans we work with so that we can figure out what they need. And at that time, Danica just needed, to me, moral support, a connection, somebody to advocate for her, and to know that she, is loved as a veteran sister. And she is so talented and so bright. And she has a great job that she's about ready to start here.
Really?
She's a wonderful success story.
Congratulations.
I'm so proud of her.
So what were the steps, Cynthia, that you took from the time that you guys were connected? Mm-hmm. What were the steps, what were the tools and the services that Easter Seals provided to her that can be provided to anyone listening? If you're listening and you're a veteran and you need help, you can reach out to Cynthia. If you know a veteran that needs help right now, you can reach out to Cynthia. So talk about those steps. Talk about the tools and services that you offered.
Well, in Danica's situation, she needed housing assistance. She had to leave for some safety reasons, mm-hmm. her previous residence, and So I reached out to my network, and I connected with the mayor's office, Darnisha Hunter. And
Love Darnisha Hunter. Shout out to Darnisha.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome.
And the mayor.
Yes.
They are such a wonderful connection for our veterans, and I was able to reach out to her, and she provided me with the list of contacts and that I was able to connect with, and we were able to find a residence for Denica.
Wow.
And
okay, so now we have housing. Then what did you do?
so after we found the housing connections, I actually reached out to 211, and they actually helped make phone calls in there to help Denica to secure the residence. So it was just a wonderful, wonderful collaborative effort. And so we took care of the housing. Denica had her resume, and we worked on her resume together. I call it enhancements. Enhancements are those things that you kind of, hey, I think it might look better like this, and those suggestions. And soon after we did her enhancements on her resume, she had an interview, and she did such a brilliant job that they couldn't even wait until the end of the week to call her up and tell her that they were going to offer her the job.
You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ, AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs, or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with the amazing Denica and Cynthia from Easter Seals of Southern California. So we have her a job. I don't even know if that's right English, but you have a job. Tell us about your new position.
Yes, I'm actually I start next week. And I literally, after my situation that I was in, within 3 weeks, I got the offer. It was right after Christmas, which was such a blessing. And so I've literally been sitting waiting to start, and I've been in contact with them. It's a company called Locums Unlimited, and they are a staffing agency specific to doctors nationwide. So it's a very well-paid position, which I'm really excited about. But most importantly, they really just believed in me and my skills. And the interview didn't even feel like an interview. It felt more like a conversation. So that's how I felt it was right. And I'm just really excited to start.
So all of you employers out there that have positions open, we want you to call Easter Seals and tell them what positions you have open so Cynthia can help you find a fantastic employee like Denica. Denica, give me some advice for the listeners out there, the veterans. Give some words of encouragement, because I know that there are people out there listening right now that have been in your seat or are in your seat, or know someone who has been where you are. So talk to us. Give us some words of encouragement for those veterans that are struggling like you did.
Sure, absolutely. I've had this conversation actually with other fellow veterans before, and one of the things that we share is that the military is very good at giving you survival skills. One of the things that I think we may lack would be life skills once you transition out. And so my biggest advice would be use those survival skills and combine it with your life skills to really get out there and have that willpower. Never give up, because it isn't going to be easy. It's going to be difficult. And I think that's that's the reality, is it's not easy, and you are going to have obstacles. It's not going to be perfect. Things won't be handed to you. However, if you have that willpower to survive like you did in the military, then you can use that as your life skills to make it through anything. And just don't give up is my biggest thing. Faith over fear.
There you go. Cynthia, what would you add to that?
But you know what? Denica said such a beautiful job. I am just really honored to be able to be part of this success story. I got to talk in the mic here. I don't know what to add other than I love helping veterans. I love these beautiful success stories. And I believe, like Denica said, faith over fear. We just have to collaborate together, work with one another, and lift up our veterans, because they are so talented. They have so much to give and show. And we just need more employers out there to support us.
How can we point more people in your direction? How can they get a hold of you, whether you're a veteran or you're an employer? How can they get a hold of you, Cynthia?
They can contact us at www.workfirst.us or www.easterseals.com SoCal, or they can also call us at 760-737-3990 extension 21.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Denica and Cynthia, for being a part of our show. I was really looking forward to meeting you, and it was well worth the wait. So thank you again for sharing your story. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And keep us posted on your job. Let us know how it goes, okay?
Absolutely.
You're listening to Brave Radio, where we focus on matching veteran talent with innovative companies that make a difference in our community and in our nation. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, and we will be right back after this short break to talk to WD-40. I am so excited. There are 2,000 uses for WD-40. Don't go away.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful, long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I need to hire someone. Our workload's increased and man, I could use some help.
What are you looking for?
I need someone unlike Ben, who doesn't freak out, when the copier breaks and the phones are down and the receptionist calls in sick.
What do you need?
Leadership. I need a leader who can just get it done with little direction and ahead of time would be great. With the prima donnas floating around our department like Sally and Jason, it's a challenge, man, to get things done. I need a team player, trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, and adaptable to change.
There's only one place you're going to find talent like that.
Show me where.
Our United States veterans. Call Eve right now at 619-244-3000 or log on to thebrave.us and let's hire a veteran. It's good for business. It's good for America.
Brave is a part of America's largest service-disabled veteran-owned business, Amerit Consulting. We are dedicated to placing great companies with great veterans. Call today. Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ, AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Please follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with Rochelle from WD-40. Rochelle, welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I am so glad you're here.
This is great.
I know.
Cool. Thanks for everything you're doing.
In the next 30 seconds, our listeners is going to realize that you're from not around here. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. I'm Australian.
Yay!
Yay. And I met my sailor in Australia nearly 20 years ago now. And been here in the States for about 18 years in talent acquisition, a lot of hiring for lots of different companies, not just here, but globally.
No kidding.
So it's a great opportunity to meet people.
So your position right now with WD-40 is?
Global Talent Acquisition Manager.
So do you travel the world looking for great employees?
I do travel a lot. Yes, I've got quite a few frequent flyers.
I bet you do.
Yeah.
So tell me about your background. You're a military spouse and how that is unique in the talent acquisition industry.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that before we went overseas, we were deployed for 5 years. I was focused on talent acquisition in the San Diego market, but that experience overseas, living with service members, interacting with their families, all different kinds of rates and ranks, just gave me a unique exposure to what these guys and girls do. And then I got really involved in the Navy Marine Corps Relief Society in Australia. I sat on their board. So
what is that? What do they do?
The Navy Marine Corps Relief Society is nonprofit, all volunteer, and we provide service members access to funds, emergency health, financial advice. We run thrift shops and stores in our overseas locations. So we give a lot of things away for service members that are coming in. They just need basic essentials, point them in the right direction.
Right.
So yeah, it's a great resource.
That's wonderful. And is that here in the U.S.? Are you still involved with them here?
They are very active in the U.S. I haven't been as involved because I'm more involved with the service members on an employment side right now, but it definitely is a great resource.
And we're going to talk about that. So now you are WD-40, one of the finest companies on the planet. How many employees do you have?
Thank you. We have 475 employees globally, and it seems like a small number. We sell into 177 countries with 14 offices. The reason we're so small is we outsource our manufacturing and our distribution.
Okay.
So we retain all the core functions in our 3 offices in the US. And we're focused on veteran hiring. In the past 12 months, 60% of our hires have been veterans.
That is so amazing.
It
I
is
want to give you an
great.
award right now. If I had a trophy, I would give it to you because that's remarkable. There's not a lot of companies out there that are doing that with that much focus. So I think our listeners are wondering, how do you do that? Where are you finding the veterans? What types of positions are open for the veterans?
Great question. There's so many resources available in San Diego to put us in contact with veterans. I'm really actively involved with a Hiring Heroes program in DC. So we have a lot of network and connection with them. They've got great resources, job banks for very, very employer-centric hiring. Large companies across the US, they've got resume databases, so I tap into that. I do LinkedIn searches, and then I really want to encourage our veterans to engage with LinkedIn.
Yes.
As corporate recruiters, it's a tool that we use every day. So brush up that LinkedIn profile, get a really great picture up there with a big smile. It's a good tool. Indeed is a great tool. We work with a lot of the local agencies, hiring events. Even if you're only there at some of these hiring events for half an hour, go around, meet some employers, share your story. That face-to-face contact with our veterans is incredible.
Yes. From where you sit, Rochelle, you see a lot of resumes come across your desk. You interview a lot of people, veterans or not veterans. Can you tell us some of the mistakes that our veterans are making, both in their resume writing and their interview skills?
I think some of the opportunities that veterans can focus on is translating that military jargon to civilianese, whereas I've been very fortunate. I can read it and understand what they're saying, but there's many, many recruiters out there that don't understand what a logistics or a supply chain or a IT or all these rates and ranks. They're not familiar with it. So translate that into something that they are familiar with. At Job Target, one of the Hire Heroes programs, they can translate those things for you. They have a huge database. You put in whatever the military word is, they'll spit out the English word, and you stick that straight into your resume.
Oh, that's almost cheating, but it's good cheating.
It is cheating. It's great cheating.
Great. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at BraveJobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with Rochelle Snook from WD-40, and we're talking about hiring veterans. So we talked about cheating on your resume and using these MOS translators to your advantage. Talk about some of the mistakes they make in an interview. Have you ever heard somebody say, well, I can do anything?
Yes, but in a very humble way. So I find that veterans tend to undersell themselves. They need to be very clear about what the skills are, the job that they're applying for, and talk to that. Make it very relative and relevant for the interviewer. And ask lots of questions. Be inquisitive. I find that they're very humble, and we know they can do everything. They've got incredible transferable skills.
Right.
Great integrity, they're at work, they're quick learners, they work well within teams, they do all of those things really well, but they need to sell themselves. So they need to put on their marketing hat for that short period of time and be very clear and concise about what their transferable skills are and what they're prepared to learn.
Tell me a success story, the veteran that you hired within WD-40 and how that's working for you.
Just one?
Well, we've got 4 minutes left, so if you can fit
4
in
minutes.
Go ahead.
I might squeeze in two. We had an injured Marine, and he was going through school, graduating with a forensic science degree.
Wow.
And we helped him through this transition period. We were flexible with his hours. He needed to do PT. He's taken over not only our operations, but our safety program in the first 12 months that he's been with us. We hired a retired major recently to run one of our sales territories out of Ohio. We had a helicopter pilot at 10 years. She wasn't sure if she's in or she's out.
Was a she helicopter pilot?
She's fantastic.
Girl power. Oh, I love it.
She is fantastic. And we find our service members transfer really well into our quality team.
Okay. Why is that?
Because it's very technical. When they come as pilots or nukes or civil engineers or any of those things, they've got a very good, clear way of thinking. They're used to following process. They're used to following procedure. We just need to expose them to our culture. And for all those employers out there, think about buddying up your new veteran hires with former veterans or current veterans to help them with that integration into the company. Definitely eases into their transition to have that go-to resource.
That's so smart, because in the military, everybody works as a team. So one of the challenges, going back to the resume writing, is what you find is military folks don't want to talk about themselves. It's we did. And you have to really drill down, okay, Rochelle, I get it that we did this, but what was your part of the we? Right. And so then when they get into your environment at WD-40, you want to put them back in that group where there's that camaraderie and the esprit de corps and the support. Like, you know me, you've been where I have been.
That sense of belonging, that's what we all look for, and especially our service members.
You know, in the few minutes we have left, you've talked about hiring veterans, and then once they're there, you're creating almost like an employee resource group for them. Are there other things that you do to retain the veterans within your organization?
We encourage them to connect with other veterans in the community. We allow them time off to provide resume support or mentorship. They do a lot of drilling and training. We encourage that as well, whether they're connecting just in the evening socially or weeks at a time. A lot of training we offer them for those skills to help them transfer.
That's great. And I know that you not only support veteran organizations, but also, was it Big Brothers, Big Sisters?
Yes,
You're very
do.
philanthropic. Talk about that part of WD-40.
And we're quite humble about it. You won't see a lot of that, but we love giving back at WD-40. We've been in San Diego for 63 years.
Oh my goodness.
And we owe a lot of that to the San Diego community.
That's fantastic. Well, thank you for all you're doing for our veterans and for our community. Thank you for your service as a service member's wife.
Thank you.
We thank you. How can those who are looking for employment connect with you at WD-40?
WD40company.com careers. And you can also contact me at hrresumes@wd40.com.
Okay, give those one more time.
That's WD40company.com and navigate to the careers tab. If you're interested in our brands, that's WD40.com. Don't want to keep those two separate.
Okay.
And hrresumes@wd40.com.
Got it. Rochelle Snook from WD-40. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us, Eve.
You're awesome. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, and we will be right back with some more incredible guests. Don't go away.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I need to hire someone. Our workload's increased and man, I could use some help.
What are you looking for?
I need someone unlike Ben, who doesn't freak out, when the copier breaks and the phones are down and the receptionist calls in sick.
What do you need?
Leadership. I need a leader who can just get it done with little direction and ahead of time would be great. With the prima donnas floating around our department like Sally and Jason, it's a challenge, man, to get things done. I need a team player, trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, and adaptable to change.
There's only one place you're going to find talent like that.
Show me where.
Our United States veterans. Call Eve right now at 619-244-3000 or log on to thebrave.us and let's hire a veteran. It's good for business. It's good for America.
Brave is a part of America's largest service-disabled veteran-owned business, Amerit Consulting. We are dedicated to placing great companies with great veterans. Call today.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful, long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Tired of your employees being late?
There was so much traffic.
Tired of poor excuses and poor presentations?
My kid ate my homework.
Tired of employees just not being able to handle the pressure?
You mean I gotta work a full 8 hours today?
Skip the hassles and excuses and hire individuals that are trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, adaptable to change, and focused on teamwork. Hire a veteran. More than just a patriotic gesture, hiring a veteran of the United States military comes with a host of benefits and tax credits and can provide your company with valuable leadership, organization, and accountability. Allow the Brave to help your progressive business connect with qualified veteran candidates today and find out more by visiting thebrave.us. That's THEBRAVE.US.
Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio, where we focus on matching veteran talent with innovative companies that make a difference in our community and in our nation. We are back in studio with our friend Kurt Gehring from the San Diego Regional Airport Authority and one of their newest employees, Joshua Mitchell. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hello. Thank you.
We're glad you're here. Kurt, we're going to start with you. I know that you've got some great background in talent management, workforce planning, and organizational development. Now we're lucky enough to have you at the San Diego Regional Airport Authority. Tell us a little bit more about your personal background.
Sure. So I am one of those people who, hopefully had transferable skills and moved from position to position. I started in education and in a recent transition landed at the Airport Authority.
Landed at the Airport Authority.
Yes,
that was good.
That's right.
That's really good.
But yeah, my background is really in individual and organizational development and really trying to help companies excel and find the right resources to accomplish their missions.
I love that. So you've got vision, you've got drive, you've got the organization, and you're looking for top tier talent. And the Airport Authority is leaning on you to find great talent. So talk about one of the pools that you go to find great talent.
Absolutely. Recently, a year ago, we introduced a Veterans Fellowship Program. Part of our vision at the Airport Authority is to really create regional prosperity and protect our quality of life. And there is no way you can do that without engaging with the military community in San Diego.
That's right.
And really recognizing that. And so as we look at our workforce at the airport, about 35% of our employees will become retirement eligible by 2020. And there are several skill sets that are very difficult to recruit, in particular airfield operations, some of our mechanical, electrical engineers out on the runway.
What is airfield operations?
So they're really responsible for all of the movement on the tarmac.
Those are the guys with the cones in their hands guiding or driving my luggage around.
That, but it's really keeping the runway free of debris, making sure there are no impediments to planes landing, making sure everybody on the ground knows who's there and how they're operating together. So that's one of the areas that we really look for, trying to recruit and fill vacancies as they become available over the next 5 years.
So you got people out there with airplanes landing and details need to be adhered to and things are moving, and what better person to have out there than a veteran?
Yeah, a lot of our veterans come with airfield experience, obviously. And so it's a great match for us to really try and fulfill some of those unique, specific needs. But we also have needs across the organization. And as Rochelle from WD-40 mentioned, right, these are individuals with really incredible skill sets, great working capabilities, and really can fit in and help our organization achieve what it's trying to over the next several years.
Rochelle's really smart. We're so glad that she was here. And
she's much better at us than us at sort of interpreting those resumes some days.
Well, that brings up the next question. Each company, and there's companies out there that are listening that are saying, I'm not a military spouse. I'm not like Rochelle. I don't know how to read these resumes. You are not a military person. So tell me about the types of resources that you use as a non-veteran to understand what the veterans are bringing to you.
Yeah, so just to be clear, I have a recruiting team who does this for me. But we actually reach out and partner with the veterans community here in San Diego. So Easter Seals, who you also had earlier on, ironically, is a huge partner of ours. And they really help us sort of understand and translate those when necessary. We also leverage the veterans themselves. So we have veterans in our workforce already. And then we are obviously hiring folks, so they help us as well. And then while the vets are there, we're really working with them through our partners to provide career skills development and resume skills writing, right? So as Rochelle was saying, translating it into a civilian language so that people can really compete successfully for careers out there.
And you put together, speaking of the resumes and the interviewing skills like that, you guys have put together a program called the Veteran Fellow Program. Talk about its history, how long it's been going on, and what you do.
Sure. So we launched it in May of 2014. We hire 3 veterans for a 6-month paid position. So they come on as a full-time employee. During that time, that 6 months, we're providing, as I mentioned, resume writing skills, networking skills, interviewing skills enhancement. And then hopefully they are successfully positioned to compete either for positions in our organization as they become available or in other organizations that we can connect them with. So you think about the airport, we are an organization of about 400 individuals who manage the airport, but there are 8,000 people who come to work at the airport on a daily basis.
Those are the guys that are losing my luggage.
Yes.
Okay.
We have no ability to manage your luggage, yes. But we do obviously connect our veterans with individuals from airlines, from TSA, FAA, and all of the other entities that are working on a daily basis to really execute the mission and make sure passengers can travel safely.
So how do these veterans find you? How are they vetted into the fellowship program?
Sure. So we reach out to all of the military organizations that we know in San Diego, and when we post the positions each half year and try to promote through those entities the opportunities that we have. We also post on government jobs and Indeed and the other job boards that are publicly available. So veterans can find us there. We post for specific positions each time. So Joshua, who's here with me today, is in our IT department. You know, we have, as I mentioned, positions open in airfield operations, marketing, PR, a variety of different areas of our organization. But each fellowship cohort is unique, specific positions. We then run a competitive recruitment with those vets that apply for it.
That is tremendous. And there's a lot of companies out there that do veteran internship programs, but they only last for a few weeks. You guys are in this for the long haul.
Yeah. And, part of our, as I said, our workforce is transitioning and we really want to be a trusted and responsive agency in the region. And so it really is critical for us is to look at the military as a partner and
succession planning,
a great place to draw talent from.
Yeah. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at BraveJobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with Kurt Gehring and Joshua Mitchell. Joshua, welcome.
Thank you.
It's really interesting. I didn't plan it this way, but Easter Seals actually was responsible for introducing you to the airport authority. Is that right?
No.
It's not? Okay, so back up. Keep me honest.
To Easter Seals.
Okay, so tell me about you were in this fellowship program, right?
Correct.
Talk about that. What did your experience, what was it like interviewing with them? Was it nerve-wracking? You as a veteran, like how can you help other veterans understand what that process was like?
Okay. First, I got to say, it's been a great ride since I went through the program. But it was from the day one, from the interview, it was like interviewing. They let me know this is the same interview that everybody gets. It's no different than if you was a regular civilian. So it was intense. It was like a board.
Oh my! You're sitting in front of all these people.
Yes.
Nervous as anything.
All the managers and senior people that I work with now. So we went through about an hour interview. Of grilling.
And did the military prepare you at all for that?
No.
Grilling? No. Okay. So
through the military, we get a 3-day program. Well, I was Marine Corps, so we get a 3-day program that called TAP. So they tell you some interview stuff, but
nothing would prepare you for that. Okay. And you got through that, and then what happened?
About a week later, I got a call saying, "Hey, we want you." So
how'd that make you feel? You come on down. You're the next contestant on. That's fantastic. And so what did your daily routine look like? So your first day there, are you in classes? Are they teaching you stuff and you're doing your job? What does that look like?
The whole time was training, but not training. Like you actually are part of the workforce. So
you have a job to do. You're not just sitting there rewriting your resume for 8 hours.
No.
Okay.
That comes like once every week. We have some kind of class given, like whether it's resume, interview skills. You do have to go to those class, but the rest of the time, you have a specific job. And for me, what make it great because we have a weekend warrior.
What is that?
Military people, reservists.
Okay.
So he part of the team, so I got paired with him. So, it made the transition even better, because he was military.
Yes.
Well, he still is military, but on a weekend basis, reservist basis. And we were taught, and he trained me on specifics of the job.
Mm-hmm.
So, but every day I got a certain area that I'm responsible for, and, I get evaluated on it, And what made it great was the position actually came open. And that's when how I really met Easter Seals and got familiar with them, because they contacted me like, "Hey, Joshua, we hear this position is open. We want to help you get it." So they contacted the airport like, "Hey, how can we get Joshua this job?
Mm-hmm.
What do he need for him to secure the job?" So Easter Seal came back, said we spoke to the airport. They said, "You need a little more training. We gonna send you to that training." I'm like, "Oh yes." So they sent me to training. I completed the training, and about 2 months later, while I was still finishing my fellowship, they like, "You're a candidate."
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Yeah. Joshua brings up a couple of really interesting points about the program too, since they're there with us for 6 months. And as I mentioned, we have many either reserve or retired military who are on staff already, and they hopefully are providing mentorship and really, sort of helping the vets sort of understand their journey and how they transition.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's one of the other benefits as well that just naturally comes out of it.
Well, that's fantastic. And you're here today because of the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce Honor Roll program. And for those employers who are listening, if you're a member of the San Diego Regional Chamber, you can join the Honor Roll program by simply hiring a veteran. We can talk more about that by jumping on our website, and we can tell you all about that. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, for being a part of our show today. Thank you to the Airport Authority for hiring our veterans and supporting our community like this. It's tremendous what you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
All right. Thank you. You're listening to Brave Radio, where we focus on matching veteran talent with innovative companies that make a difference in our community and in our nation. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, and we will be right back after this short break. Don't go away.
Easter Seals Work First Military and Veteran Services provides free one-on-one personalized employment assistance for local veterans through their Bob Hope Veteran Support Program. Easter Seals' team of employment specialists is dedicated to achieving successful, long-term job placements that benefit both the veteran and the employer. Learn more about how you can receive services, connect with a future employee, or make a donation by visiting easterseals.com/SouthernCal. That's easterseals.com/SouthernCal.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
I need to hire someone. Our workload's increased, and man, I could use some help.
What are you looking for?
I need someone unlike Ben, who doesn't freak out, when the copier breaks and the phones are down and the receptionist calls in sick.
What do you need?
Leadership. I need a leader who can just get it done with little direction and ahead of time would be great. With the prima donnas floating around our department like Sally and Jason, it's a challenge, man, to get things done. I need a team player, trained in leadership, confident in their abilities, and adaptable to change.
There's only one place you're going to find talent like that.
Show me where.
Our United States veterans. Call Eve right now at 619-244-3000 or log on to thebrave.us and let's hire a veteran. It's good for business. It's good for America.
Brave is a part of America's largest service-disabled veteran-owned business, Merit Consulting. We are dedicated to placing great companies with great veterans. Call today.
Welcome back. You're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. We are here in studio with my good friend Sandy Lemkiller from the Warrior Foundation Freedom Station. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Eve, and congratulations on your show, Brave Radio.
Thank you.
This is wonderful. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you. And we're doing great things. And part of what our job is to inspire companies to hire veterans. And that's why you're here today, because you have a great story. You have a great foundation. So let me, first of all, I want to tell our listeners back to our previous guest, Kurt Gehring with the Airport Authority. If you guys are interested in signing up and being a part of that Veterans Fellowship, go on to www.san.org/careers or email Kurt at hr@san.org. I promised him that I would say that. So they've got 3 positions open. There's your chance to get in with the San Diego Airport Authority. Sandy, you have some great gentlemen here today, but before we introduce these handsome young men, I want you to tell us a little bit about your foundation and what you guys do.
Well, I'll give you the really short brief because I really want to make sure that our warriors have a chance to speak up, and hopefully we'll leave here with jobs for both of them. That's my goal for today. That's
our goal. Okay.
Okay, so basically our foundation was created live on the air, unbeknownst to what was happening to me, and it has become a firestorm of giving. Mm-hmm. And Warrior Foundation was created back in 2004. Mm-hmm. It was created when I found out that some warriors up at Balboa Naval Hospital needed electric razors. We now have...
Now, why do they need electric razors? You have to talk about what's so unique about Balboa.
Well, Balboa Hospital at the beginning of the war was not quite set up yet, and it did not have the ability to handle a lot of our amputees' needs that the government wasn't providing. So the guys would button each other's shirts. They would lace each other's shoes. I mean, talk about teamwork.
Yes.
That's what Marines are all about.
Yes.
So, but the one thing they really couldn't do was stand in a shower and shave, and they were all getting hit on their shaves. So they told me what they needed, and I went home to my husband and I said, okay, take me over to the base. I need a razor class. So we found out that these little razors were about $89. I really found out that there were about 300 injured. It was a little bit of misinformation, wasn't quite that many. And I got upset that we were only going to be able to afford 5. You know, I mean, $89 times 300 was a little bit above my warrant's pay grade and mine. So basically what we did was I got on the computer at 2 a.m. with a full head of steam, and I said, this country can do better.
That's right.
And long story short, I ended up on the radio after checking with my warrant that we wouldn't get in trouble for fundraising. And we raised $68,000.
Oh, my goodness. $68,000
in 45 minutes. I called each and every one of those people back. We set up a foundation. The people of San Diego named our foundation. And I just do want to put a little caveat in here. I want to clarify, we are not the foundation that was part of that CBS special a couple weeks ago.
96.4%?
96% goes to our warriors.
Yes.
You can check out our website, and none of us have ever taken a salary.
Yes.
And so we've been around for 11 years. So we work with 5 different groups of guys now, and we have raised $14 million, and every bit of that goes to our warriors.
God bless you, Sandy.
So the 5 groups are the guys that are just coming home, battle injured or ill, and we help with bringing in their family members. If the government doesn't move fast enough, we get hotel rooms and rent-a-cars for them. We work with guys with PTSD, TBI, and those that need to go to college. At the beginning of the war, we were providing Palm Pilots. Now think of the technology. Now we're providing laptops, iPads, noise machines. And the third group we work with are those warriors that are not sick enough to be in a hospital bed, but they're certainly not well enough to go back to their ship or their commands.
Okay.
So they're up there for a long time, getting well, going through multiple surgeries. And the biggest thing I think we do for that group is we'll take them out to Jose Banks in Chula Vista, and we get them suits so that when they start their transition, they've lost that one uniform, but we need to give them another uniform so that they're good to go.
Yes.
And basically, it's very interesting when you take them to Jose Banks, but you'll hear things like, dude, you look so good in that suit.
Right.
You could work at Chippendales. So it gives them back their Marine pride, their military bearing in a sense. So then they're able to go out on job interviews. The other big thing that we do for that group is, the third group is we send them home so they can wake up in their own bed in their own state with their own family Christmas morning. And that's where we always need help with those flights. But we have flights that go on all year long. The fourth group are selected from the barracks area. It's a tough day, the day that they decide or the command decides that they're not going to stay in the military. That's a tough day for our guys. And so with that, the ones that are the highest level, the most motivated, the warriors that have it ready to go, are given the opportunity to move into Freedom Station, which is our transition location, which is 0.6 miles away from the hospital. I mean, some of the guys even ride Segways up to the hospital. So at any rate, they are there and they begin their transition. So they are still on active duty when they move in, and that's the beauty of this. All their medical, everything that they need to do militarily for their med board can all be handled right up at the hospital.
And each one of these cottages is so well appointed, ADA approved. It's got flowers. It's just darling.
Well, we like to have our warriors know that they're moving into paradise.
They are.
And that's what we want them to understand. And we work hard to make that happen for them. These guys get their last paycheck, let's say in August, and you would hope that by now this country could get it together, and in September they would begin to get all of their benefits. They can go 4 to 6 months without a check.
Oh my goodness.
Well, they feel that that is a personal failure, even mostly the Marines. But our corpsmen do too. And so we cover that area. We get them into colleges, they go golfing, they can go surfing. And again, that is all up to the hospital. So all they have to do is go up there and plug themselves back in. We support a group called the Wolfpack Wheelchair Basketball Team. And if you want to see a team that takes on the world, they are. So that's our 4 groups. The 5th group is called Legacy Warriors. And these are the warriors that need to come back to San Diego and stay here for a couple of months and have new treatments, new surgeries, get a new prosthetic, and we are helping them by providing a cottage to them at no cost. Our warriors that live at Freedom Station do pay a little bit of rent. They do have to take care of their own bills. We, of course, are their landlords, so if anything happens, we make sure that these guys are going to succeed.
And that's because, and this is what the top of the show, we talked with Easter Seals of Southern California about life skills. Right. And so what you're doing is not because you want to make money by charging them rent. You're teaching them life skills, how to pay your electric bill on time, how to pay your phone bill on time, right?
How to budget.
How to budget. Yep. So it goes way beyond.
We will do everything we can to help them in that area. And a lot of these guys, I want them to finish school. Yes. We've got warriors that have completed school and moved on. We've got a warrior that was we sent over to Germany to speak to 600 PhDs about PTSD. While he was there, he was offered his master's in Zurich. Oh my God. I mean, you can't ask for a better pay it forward.
You can't. And you're listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, streaming live on the web at am1170theanswer.com. Follow us on Twitter at Brave Jobs or like us on Facebook to stay up to date with the latest news and trends. I'm your host, Eve Nasby, here with the most amazing Sandy Lehmkuhler. And you have brought 2 of your warriors, Brian Riley and Ignacio Castro. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Very much.
Okay, Brian, you're up first. Tell us your story. You are in the military. Tell us your story about being in the military, where you are today, and where you want to go.
Well, I joined the military late. I was 22 when I joined, so I had some life experiences before that. I had a chance to learn how to pay a mortgage and all that. Okay. While I was in the military, I was a reconnaissance Marine. I was stationed in Okinawa. And one thing I think that a lot of people don't understand and why learning life skills is so important is because veterans, we're used to having a monthly allotment taken out of our paycheck for food, for living and everything like that as well. So coming to a place like Freedom Station where we have to learn how to pay the water bill or electric bill, set money off to the side for gas and food, it's a huge and a very valuable skill to learn, especially when you're transitioning into the real world outside of the military. So I learned a lot of valuable things, including perseverance while I was in the military, but while transitioning out and moving into Freedom Station, that's where I've learned some valuable life skills.
So you are there today, and you are currently working, going to school. Tell us about what you're doing right now.
Well, I'm interested in engineering and physics, so I'm going to school for that. But right now, I really just want to work hard.
Okay.
Idle time, I guess. It doesn't sit well with me. Too much idle time drives me crazy. Yep. So even though I am interested in engineering and physics, and I do have high aspirations as far as the physics goes for what I plan to do with my life, I am interested in a seasonal job, I guess, or a part-time job, something that will let me work hard, get my feet on the ground, get used to dealing with civilians again. Because going from the military to school to workforce, I mean, those are all three very distinctive environments.
So tell me right now, you have skills and things that you learned in the military, and employers listening right now, and they're like, well, why should I hire you over Ignacio? What would you say to that employer?
He's a genius.
Well, in this instance, I think I'm going to take the time to sell the veterans group as a whole. I might be preaching to the choir, but
that's okay.
One of the huge things that you learn while in the military is that perseverance pretty much trumps all. Mm. You can have all the talent that you want, but if you're not going to work hard, it's not going to get you anywhere. And that's one thing that everyone in the military learns is perseverance. Mm-hmm. So as a veteran, we're not afraid to work hard. That's where we're comfortable at. And one thing that Kurt mentioned in his segment is that he sets veterans up with a mentorship as well. Right. And that's a huge way to guarantee success with if you're going to be hiring a veteran, is because we're already willing to work hard. That's what we're comfortable doing. Mm-hmm. So if you give us someone that will help us work smart as well.
Yes. So full-time, part-time, you got your sights set on starting school in the fall. Tell me your schedule so that our people out there that are listening can know, gosh, I can hire him right now through September.
Yeah, currently open right now. So, and school, the fall semester would start in late September.
Okay, awesome. All right, and then we've got Ignacio. Ignacio, tell us your story.
Well, I went to college for probably about a year and decided I wanted to join the Marine Corps. And joined the Marine Corps, did a deployment, and got injured. Was at Balboa for a couple of years and found out about the Warrior Foundation, and I was going to transition back home, but I needed prosthetic care in San Diego. And I wasn't able to have, a smooth transition without the Warrior Foundation. Mm-hmm. They are able to work with me and help me get to all my appointments. And
I understand you're the MacGyver of the community, so you can do anything and fix anything with anything.
Well, I like to figure things out on my own. I guess stubborn. Sometimes I like to try and figure it out.
So you're looking for a position like construction management. Talk about who's listening right now thinking, okay, I need to meet Ignacio. I need him for this.
Well, I'm going to school. I'm going to finish my gen ed courses here pretty soon, so I got to really start narrowing down on a major. I was going originally for business and construction management. When I was in Arizona for that short amount of time, about a year, I did a lot of construction work, construction management. I was a supervisor assistant and I managed a lot of construction sites. We did custom homes and pools. So, wow. And did some security work on the weekends. So
that's fantastic.
He's a logistics guy. Yeah. He really is a logistics guy. And both of these gentlemen are Purple Heart recipients and battle injured. So, but you'd never know it.
No, you wouldn't. Thank you for your service, gentlemen. Now, Sandy, these two young men, we've talked about who they are, what they're looking for. How can our listeners get a hold of them?
I'm going to keep this really simple.
Okay.
You're going to go to warriorfoundation.org. That's our website.
Okay.
Or you can email me at sandy@warriorfoundation.com.
Okay, give that out one more time, Sandy.
sandy@warriorfoundation.com. And if ever you needed good employees, these guys are what you need.
Amen, sister. All right, Brian, Ignacio, and Sandy, thank you so much for representing the Warrior Foundation and Freedom Station and being a part of our show today.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I'm Eve Nasby, and you've been listening to Brave Radio here on KCBQ AM 1170, The Answer. If you want to find out more about how you can hire top veteran talent, or if you're interested in being a guest on our show, visit our website at www.thebrave.us. Send us a tweet at Brave Jobs or like our Facebook page. From all our guests and me, thanks for joining us. And until next Monday, may God bless our veterans and God bless America.
Thanks for listening to Brave Radio. If you know a veteran looking for work, or if your company is hiring, call Eve at Brave at 619-244-3000. Give her a tweet at Brave Jobs and connect with them on Facebook. To be a guest on the show, visit thebrave.us.